Hello, you guys, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is McKenna, your host for the In My 30s podcast, where we talk about all things business, culture, lifestyle, and just the big sister advice that maybe you didn't know you needed. Today, we're going to be starting a series about social media. I feel like I get questioned the most about this because this is what I do full time, and I do feel like I have a lot of knowledge on social media that I've learned the hard way. So if I can save you some time and teach you what I know, I feel like I've done something good with my time. So today we're starting a series all about making viral vlogs. It's going to be several parts. So I have everything mapped out in terms of what I want to talk about in each episode. And so at the moment, it is going to be 4 or 5 episodes. If I think about things as we go along, I'll just add to it. But in today's episode, we're just going to lay the groundwork and talk about the fundamentals and the basics. If you feel like you already have an understanding of the basics, you can go ahead and skip ahead to the next episode. But I feel like sometimes it's good to have a reminder of the basics. So we're going to start there. If you're just starting out on social media too, I feel like this is a great way and place to start. A little bit about me though, is that I do social media full time. I accidentally fell into it a few years ago after my first daughter was born. I had a video go pretty viral. It got 10 million, almost, I think it's just shy of 10 million views. And I gained over 100,000 followers overnight. I think at the time before that video went viral, I probably had I had 30, 40,000 followers. And then that video went viral and I gained almost my followers on TikTok was almost 150. I think it was 130, 140. And that was kind of life-changing for me. I mean, still consider myself a small influencer, and I don't really consider myself an influencer, but I am. That's what I do. But that's what really leaped me. I moved forward into brand deals from that video going viral. And so I just want to say that it takes one to get the ball rolling and create snowball effect. So if that inspires you at all, I now have, I now have around 235,000 followers, and that's just been me consistently posting every single day for the past actually closer to 3 years. And I'm posting multiple times, sometimes a day, at least once a day, if not 2-3 times or more a day. Do I think you need to post multiple times a day to grow? No. As long as they're quality, I'll just say that. I feel like as much as you can post that keeps quality, I think quality is way more important than the number of posts you post. But with that being said, let's just dive into it. I obviously am a mom, a creator. I am a time mom at home. And so all of this stems from I need to spend as little time as possible making content and editing content and as much time as I can with my kids. So everything I'm teaching you is kind of an efficient way of getting it done. And I also want to say this, that it is not too late to start, okay? It's me looking down at my notes. I just want to make sure that I stay on track. And so I have mapped out, like I said, everything that I want to talk about. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll probably see me gazing at my notes. If you're listening, shout out, because sometimes I post it on platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and I feel like nobody's listening. So if you're listening, let me know. Anyways, it's not too late to start. I think that now a lot more people are jumping on board on social media, and so it can feel like it's a little bit oversaturated, but I want you to know that it's not too late. There are people blowing up every single day still, and I think it just makes it you have to really put in an effort to capture attention and stand out, which isn't a bad thing. I think that if you can find a way to set yourself apart, you're going to stand out and you're going to grow. But yes, social media is more crowded. That is totally true. And yes, it is harder than it was in 2019, kind of whole pandemic. I feel like it was a lot easier to grow. And then as soon as that all happened, everybody jumped onto social media because that is what we had time for. We had so much time at home. We were stuck on our phones. Everybody doing everything online at that point, because what else could you do? You couldn't leave your house. And that is when I started sorry, I bumped the mic, but that is when I started doing social media a lot more. That is not really when I took it seriously though, but that is kind of noticed myself I do this. So that is kind of started. My daughter was born in 2022. And I think right after she was born and that video blew up, I think she was 3 or 4 months old. that is when I started taking things serious because brands started reaching out to me. People are still blowing up daily. Platforms are still being created. Like a platform that I have kind of been focusing on is Substack. That's where I've been having all my podcasts published is Substack. So if you're trying to start a podcast, you can check it out there because it's a free way to start a podcast. I make another video if you're interested in that, but there's new platforms that you can jump onto. And right now I'm starting to focus on Substack because I feel like that's new and there's not a ton of people on there yet. But TikTok, Instagram, all the OG platforms, YouTube. I feel like the algorithm, this is fact, the algorithm will reward watch time, not follower count. So even like somebody with 1 million followers, if they're not making good content and people aren't watching it, they're not going to be pushed out, okay? So if you're a smaller creator, your main goal is to create quality content that people are gonna watch and with an engaging hook. So those are the key things, is you really want a good hook that is gonna capture people and like tell us and keep them wanting to watch until the end to find out the solution to the story. A lot of creators get burnt out, quit, don't stay consistent, and even like OG creators burnt out and quit or launch their own brand and want to take it that route. I think people do want to eventually leave social media because it can burn you out really fast. I sometimes find myself in that headspace, and it's not something I want to do forever. So also know that there's always areas in the market that are opening up because people are leaving it, right? Like people don't stay a creator forever. I feel like a lot of times they'll outgrow it in terms of creating their own brand and finding other ways to create an income for themselves. So there's also that. There's always new formats. There's always new faces to be needed. Like even with, I'm stumbling on my words, but even with vlogs, there's always like new formats, vlogs being like pumped out. It used to be really like voiceover heavy, and then ASMR vlogs, music vlogs, like there's so many formats that are coming out. I love right now what's trending is the like quick clips, the beginning of a vlog that kind of capture your attention for what's to come later in the vlog. So there's always ways to stand out and kind of capture it. Really quick, I want to make a shout out to a brand that I work with a lot and have a code with, and it's Clean Simple Eats. Clean Simple Eats has amazing protein powders that I'm always using. They have greens and collagen powders, but my favorite are their clean energy drinks and their protein powders. They have a regular creamy protein powder. My favorite is the chocolate peanut butter, the chocolate, or the vanilla. Those are my favorite flavors. And then they also have a clear protein powder that for one is like less calories. So you don't have to add milk to it. You can just do it with water. Any of their protein powders you can do with water, but I will say milk makes the like chocolate tastes a lot better. But their Clean Simple protein powder is really good, and code HAPPILYKENNA will save you 10% on any of your purchases. So it's not just for first-time customers, but like returning customers. You can use HAPPILYKENNA, HAPPILYKENNA at checkout, and that will save you 10%. I highly recommend that you check out Clean Simple Eats. And now diving back into the next point that I want to talk about, and that's understanding formats and ratios. So obviously we all know the vertical video is king over everything on most platforms right now. Obviously YouTube still has horizontal videos, but vertical videos have like completely taken over the internet. And so you want to make sure that your ratio is the 9:16 for TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Those are the platforms that I'm really focused on, and I film everything vertically unless I'm filming a long YouTube vlog, and those are very much intentional for me. And like this one, it's like a sit down, it's more intentional, it takes more time. But overall, most of my videos are filmed in 9:16. I always try to keep myself centered or more space above my head in order to add text or to just like basically give viewers' eye some chance to rest. If there's too much stuff filling up the screen, especially with all the like buttons, follow buttons on the side, it can become overwhelming, and I think people get overstimulated and they want to scroll by. So trying to keep your videos centered, leave space at the top or at the bottom, natural lighting, kind of creating that comfort creator feeling. People are going to want to watch your content naturally because they're not feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling more like relatable to you, more of a comfort creator vibe, just like more aesthetically, like let's just real about it. Even if you don't have like a brand house and remodeled home, just leaving space in your video helps the viewer a lot. I will say that that's something that I highly recommend you prioritize. And then filming in 4K if your phone allows it. You can change the settings on your phone. I would do a lot of research depending on what phone you have. I would always film in the highest quality that you can. It takes up a lot of space on your phone, but I'm constantly deleting. Like once you vlog and edit it, you don't need to keep all those clips. So constantly deleting. There's ways you can save stuff in the cloud, and you know, there's ways that you can find more space on your phone. Plus I feel like phones nowadays, like everybody has so much space and storage on their phone. I have a terabyte, which I know is astronomical and unneeded, but most phones now have like 200 plus gig. So just constantly at your phone is also something that you're just gonna have to get used to. And I promise we'll like do a more in-depth deep dive on my exact camera settings later on, but I just want you to, right off the bat, just get filming in good quality camera settings. Equipment and why you might not need the equipment that you think you need. So I encourage people to just start with what they have, which is usually a phone, right? Like you can start filming with a phone. This one is the Sony ZV, oh my gosh, why am I spacing on the name? The Sony ZV-1F. I'll have to confirm that. If I need to change it, I will change it. But the Sony's is like a very big camera that can get you into the market of like using something a little bit more high quality than your phone. But honestly, I feel like phone cameras are just insane nowadays. I would more so prioritize microphone. If there's something that you want to prioritize, I would say microphone over camera, because people need to hear clear audio. If your audio is bad, they're going to immediately swipe by. I've even noticed, we'll get into it more later on, but in my voiceovers, my tone inflection will affect how long people stay in my video. You know, if very nasally, or if you're talking very like high pitch, you have upspeak at the end, will actually affect people listening to your vlog. So keep that in mind, but having good, I would say good audio is more important than getting a better camera at the beginning. And you can find some pretty good speakers for like pretty cheap. Even on Shop, I bought a speaker that was like less than bucks. So right now I am using the wireless Rode Me mic. I can link it in the show notes. The ones, I'll link my camera, I'll link the mic and the stuff that I use in the show notes. There's also a really cool camera that has recently come out, and it's called the DJI Pocket 3 is a great camera for vertical and horizontal video. It has great quality, but again, I don't think it's needed. I would start with what you have, a tripod maybe, but even then, oftentimes I'm not even using a tripod. I will just like stack books, my makeup, stack things in order to film my videos. So again, I would just start with what you have. The algorithm doesn't care with what you film on. It cares about clarity, I would say clarity over aesthetic, and consistency over gear. And then starting messy oftentimes leads to people feeling relatable to you, and oftentimes those videos that you don't really put much thought into will end up doing better. So I would just start with what you have. And I will say your first viral video will not be the prettiest. The viral video that leaped me into this content creator space, I look back and I cringe so hard because I have since privated it because it just makes me cringe so bad. But it is viral. I mean, it was aesthetic. It was not the prettiest video that I've ever filmed, and I just feel like it went viral because people were relating to it more than anything. Editing apps, let's just go through them really quick. I personally use CapCut and Final Cut Pro when I'm editing on my Mac, but there's the TikTok editor, the Instagram editor, which is Edits. So you can use any of those. There's a ton of editing platforms that are really easy on your phone, and you can just download the apps and use those. I personally use CapCut because it's just what I've gotten used to. Sometimes I'll pay for it and then I'll cancel the membership and only pay for it when I need to. So you can totally get away with using the free CapCut and when it makes sense. I also have used CapCut on my MacBook, which is another great way to edit your vlogs. It's very simple to use. It's very user-friendly. And we will go more into depth on how I edit my vlogs later on. I have some really good shortcuts that we'll talk about, especially if you make talking vlogs where you're talking to the camera rather than voiceover. But overall, editing should support the story. It shouldn't distract from it. I feel like if your edits are just getting so crazy and it pulls away from like what's actually in the video, it's not gonna do as well. I think mainly the focus of what the content is in your video is more important. And then lastly, talking about picking your niche, I would say niche down at first, get known for something, and then expand from there. Like if you're for a specific thing, people are going to come back and be inspired by that. Like I feel like at the beginning, I was very much known for my early morning vlogs. I've kind of sensed from that because I don't wake up as early as I used to all the time. But that was what I was known for at the beginning, and those were what my most viral videos were after the first one, when initially was me up at 5 a.m. and going to my workouts, and I felt like it was, people wanted to do that. It was like aspirational, and that's why they hit pretty well at the beginning. If you inspire people, if you can relate to people, those are going to be probably your best performing videos. Or if you can give something to the viewer, like whether they're advice or even this video that I'm making is probably giving you a lot of knowledge that you're hoping for. So those are the things that I would focus on when creating content, rather than like inward focused, like me. Really come for you unless you're a massive influencer already. Picking your niche should kind of feel cliffhanger. Like you don't want to share everything in one video. You want to give people a reason to come back and watch again. So you have to feel like in every single video, you have to give out everything, right? Like especially me, this video up into series, like hopefully you're going to want to come back for when I show you how I edit my videos and like topics, how I come up with hooks. Like I don't need to give everything in one video. I hope that you guys subscribe and come back. So don't feel like it should be kind of you don't have to like word vomit at the beginning. You don't need a perfect niche to start. I would just kind of start that you enjoy, that you feel like give back, and then go from there. And whatever hits with the algorithm, that's what I would hone in on at the beginning and just go hard at that one topic. So like for me, it was waking up early. For you, it might be sourdough bread. For somebody else, it might be like local coffee, whatever. Hone in on that if it does well and just run with it until your account starts to snowball, and then you can start to diversify from there. So it just gives you like a general and a person that you're talking to and kind of like to work with at the beginning. And vlogging works best when there is like a specific on it. Like for me, like mom girl routines might be somebody's healing season, fitness might be somebody's home, creator life, cleaning. Like when there's kind of your overall page, maybe not a niche, but like for me, life, that's like a broad, if that makes sense. So like I've niched, but it's like a broad where there's a lot of things that factor in under it. Like even like working, I still mom life, right? It still factors in mom life. Play areas in the air, like play parks in the area, that is still mom life. So again, there's like a lot of things that fit into like a larger niche. So yeah, if you nothing away from this episode, let it be that you don't need permission, you don't need perfect gear, you don't need to feel ready. I feel like just showing up and just starting makes you more relatable, and also people can follow you along your journey of growing and finding your space online. People love to follow journeys, and they see people grow and evolve. Even those people get like bigger creators get backlash for it. I think overall people like to see the growth and the change and the evolvement of somebody. In episode 2, we're going to chat about like breaking down niches, going into more if yours is too small, too big, how to vlog in an exciting way, understanding like the short form algorithm, how to read analytics, researching your niche, and like coming up better hooks. So that's what we're going to go into in the next section. And I hope you got some things out of this. If you did, share this with somebody that you think can also benefit from it. Leave a little comment below. Let me know what you are hoping I incorporate in the next few videos or podcast episodes, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.